Yamunatiravanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nityananda Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bo. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Gaur Hare Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 68, entitled The Marriage of Samba, text number 16. Gatma Gaja Vayam Ramo Bhayo Pavananam Astita Uddhavam Preshayam Asa Dutrashtram Bubudsaya Gatva Gajavayam Ramo Bhayo Pavanam Astita Uddhavam Preshayam Asa Dutrashtram Bubudsaya Gatva Gajavayam Ramo Bhayo Pavananam Astita Uddhavam Preshayam Asa Dhritarashtam Bubudsaya. Word to word meaning. Gatva, going. Gajahavayam, to Hastinapur. Rama, Lord Balram. Bhaya, outside. Upavanam, in a garden. Astita, he stayed. Uddhavam, Uddhava. Preshayam asa, he sent. Dhutarashtram, about Dhutarashtra. Babudsaya, desiring to find out. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Disciples of Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Upon arriving at Hastinapur, Lord Balram remained in a garden outside the city and sent Uddhama ahead to probe King Dhritarashtra's intentions. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, when Lord Balram reached the precincts of the city of Hastinapur, he did not enter but stationed himself in a camp outside the city in a small garden house. Then he asked Uddhama to see the leaders of the Kuru dynasty and inquire from them whether they wanted to fight with the Yadav dynasty or to make a settlement. Omagyanatmirandasya gyananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Panakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vidamsha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Namo Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Pranayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tushe Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prashamanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannatha Te Nama Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktvrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining our morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. I seek blessings of all wonderful devotees assembled here, so I can speak something for my own beautification. Here we see the pastime of the marriage of Samba. Last chapter we saw killing of Dvida gorilla, and now we are seeing this marriage of Samba. Both of these pastimes are related with Balramji. After 1 month, today is 31st of July, after 1 month, that is 31st of August, we are celebrating Balram Jayanti. So here we are seeing Balram's wonderful, glorious pastimes. Dvida gorilla was so powerful, but with one punch, he finished off Dvida gorilla. So Balram means one who takes pleasure in manifesting his powers. And Balram is supremely powerful. He is the first expansion of Krishna. From him comes Sankarshan, Anirudra, Pradyumna, Vasudev. From Sankarshan comes uh, Narayan. From Narayan comes again second Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Vasudev. And from that Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu, from whose pores whole universes are coming. And then comes Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Shirodaksha Vishnu. No? So these three Vishnus are coming from Sankarshan, who is coming from, ultimately is coming from Balram. So Balram is source of all of them. So Balram is extremely powerful. His one of his expansions is Anant on whose hoods all universe are resting. Mm. So Balram is not a ordinary person. So here we are blessed to hear about Balram's pastimes. Prabhupada writes in uh, Srila Prabhupada writes, this is in last purport of the chapter 54 text. Srila Prabhupada writes as follows: for the most part, it was a practice of Kshatriya kings to inaugurate some kind of fighting within parties of the bride and bridegroom before the marriage. When Samba forcibly took away Lakshmana, the elderly members of Kuru dynasty were pleased to see that he was actually the suitable match for her. In order to see his personal strength, however, they fought with him, and without any respect for the regulations of fighting, they all arrested him. So we see Samba is son of Krishna through Jambavati, Krishna's son. And earlier we see Sukadeva Goswami explains Krishna's sons were also very powerful, having inconceivable potencies. So Pradyumna, very powerful. Samba, very, very powerful. So when there was Duryodhana's daughter, Lakshmana, many people wanted her hand in marriage. So therefore there was Swayamvar arranged. This is the Vedic system. Kshatriya marriage, Swayamvar. And then that marriage, this Samba came because he wanted to marry Duryodhana's daughter. So it's amazing. Duryodhana is seen as a kind of a evil person. Balram is Supreme Lord. Krishna is Supreme Lord. No? Krishna's son wanted to marry Duryodhana's daughter. No? So sometimes in Bollywood movies also, sometimes we say hero and heroine, hero marries some villain's daughter. Lot of issues happen. So in that sense, here we see Krishna, son Samba, who is also considered little naughty. He went to this Swayamvar ceremony and he forcibly kidnapped Lakshmana, daughter of Duryodhana. So here Prabhupada writes, though actually all the members of Kuru dynasty, they were happy that because seeing that Samba is very qualified, he is a good match for Lakshmana. But still, they wanted a fight just to test him further, and they had a good fight. And Samba also fought very dexterously, very powerfully. But then six Maharathis together attacked, and uh, Prabhupada writes here, in order to see his personal strength, however, they fought with him and without any respect for regulations of fighting. Maybe they broke some principles of fighting. And they all arrested him. So he was arrested and brought to Hastinapur. Later on, this news was carried by Narad Muni to Yadavas. And when kings of Yadu dynasty heard about uh, Samba's arrest, they became very furious. And then everybody wanted to march and attack Hastinapur and get Samba back along with Lakshmana. But then Balram he pacified everybody. Balaram said, "Why should we fight? This Kurus, Kauravas and Yadavas are very good friends. They have a wonderful relationship. Why should unnecessarily we fight?" He said, "Don't worry, I'll go and make a settlement." Balram is especially actually affectionate to Duryodhana. Hmm? Balram is also called as Duryodhan Guru. He is one who trained Duryodhana in mace fighting. Krishna was extremely affectionate to Pandavas, and Balram was affectionate to Duryodhana. so, so when this matter came, Balram said, "Oh, we should not unnecessarily fight. I will go and settle the matter." So then Balram went along with his Yadav army, and here we see just when they reach Hastinapur, Balramji camped himself outside mm, Hastinapur city in a garden, Upavanam, and then he sent Uddhava to meet all the Kuru elders and check what is their mood. Are they wanting to give Samba and Lakshmana back? Are they wanting to have settlement, or are they eager to fight? So Uddhava went and informed about Balram's coming. So when Kurus heard Balram has come, actually Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, they were very affectionate to Balram because they knew Balram is our great well-wisher. So immediately they made all arrangements for worship of Balram, and they came out and they wonderfully honored and worshipped Balram. Here in purport it is mentioned that when Uddhava went to Hastinapur, he met all the elders, and they had appropriate exchanges. But it is mentioned that Uddhava met Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, all this company. But here it is mentioned he did not meet Yudhishthir Maharaj because that time Yudhishthir and Pandavas they were not studying in Hastinapur. They were staying in Indraprastha. So Pandavas are in Indraprastha, Kauravas are in Hastinapur. So this episode happened when that time when Pandavas were not there. So later on, all the Kauravas they went. They very warmly received Balramji. They worshipped, honored Balramji with all appropriate paraphernalia, and then they had a wonderful sweet exchange, asking about each other's welfare. And after that, Balramji then said strongly that, coming to the point, he said, "Now, please deliver Samba and Lakshmana immediately back as per the order of Ugrasena." As soon as Kauravas heard about it, they became so furious. They said, "What do you mean? Order of Ugrasena? Who is Ugrasena to order us? Now Yadavas are ordering Kauravas. We are the emperors of the whole world. And Yadavas are able to rule because we are allowing them to rule. Just because we are merciful to them, we are lenient to them. Now they are thinking themselves equal to us. And now they are thinking they have become even better than us, superior to us, and they are ordering. How dare they order? It's just like shoes trying to climb on the head. Okay, we did not object their use of royal paraphernalia. Doesn't mean that they are qualified because they are relatives. We did not take it seriously, but they are not qualified to use in royal paraphernalia. But we are allowing it. It's our mercy that they are using, and now they are taking advantage of it, and they are daring to even order Kauravas. So they blasted at Balramji. When Balramji heard it, he was just silent. This Kauravas spoke and left. Balram was so angry, he just became red. Immediately he took his plow and he started laughing loudly uh, in anger. That just see the foolishness of Kauravas, how they have been maddened by so-called pride because of their some opulence. They are not able to understand glory of Yadavas. Okay, one thing is insulting Yadavas, but they are also insulting Krishna. They don't know who is Krishna. Even Brahma and Shiva, Indra, all devatas worship Krishna. Even goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is always worshipping lotus feet of Krishna. And they are considering this Krishna is not worthy of using royal mundane paraphernalia. Mundane royal paraphernalia. The Lord, who is all devatas are always ready to carry out instruction, and they think he is not uh, in position to order them. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Balram becomes so angry and immediately he takes his plow and he goes and just hits the outskirts of Hastinapur with his plow. And it is said, Vishwanath Chakravarti writes that by Lord's desire, the plow becomes so huge, and just with that plow, practically Balramji separated Hastinapur from the earth. Can you imagine how many JCBs may be required to lift entire Delhi city? Huh? To lift little sand or little mud, little we require hundreds and thousands of JCBs. Can you imagine entire Hastinapur lifting? But Balram is very powerful, and his plow is also very powerful. And plow expand one plow was sufficient to lift the entire Hastinapur city and separate it from earth. And when it was separated, all Kauravas understood uh, they have done a big blunder, and immediately they realized their life is at threat, and immediately they went running uh, with Samba and Lakshmana in front, and they went and fell flat at Balram's lotus feet and begged forgiveness, and immediately handed over Lakshmana and Samba to appease Balramji. So Prabhupada writes in this purport that when Yadu dynasty decided to release Samba from the confinement of Karuz, Lord Balram came personally to settle the matter. And as a powerful Kshatriya, he ordered them to free Samba immediately. The Kauravas became superficially insulted by this order, so they challenged Lord Balram's power. They simply wanted to see him exhibit his inconceivable strength. Prabhupada writing, uh, they actually superficially got insulted and spoke like this because they wanted to see Balram's power. Uh, mm. Thus, with great pleasure, they handed over their daughter to Samba, and the whole matter was settled. Duryodhana, being affectionate towards daughter Lakshmana, had her married to Samba in great pomp. Balram was very satisfied after this great reception from the side of Kurus, and accompanied by the newly married couple, he started towards his capital city of Dwarka. So, Balram is just lifting mm, mm, entire Hastinapur. Mm. So, from mundane point of view, one may say, "Oh, it's extremely unbelievable, Bapare." But actually, for Balram, this is nothing. The Balram, who is source of Mahavishnu, who is source of all this annunciation, all this thing. This is a small thing for him. And Balram is another thing in purports. Prabhupada mentioned that uh, when Balram became angry, all the Kauravas came to his senses, and then they appreciate Balram. That Balramji, thank you very much. We are so puffed up, but you are really powerful teacher, and you use your anger to teach. Your anger is not out of envy uh, or hatred, but your anger is out of love to teach all of us. So we are very puffed up, and by your anger, you have become humble. So Balram's power, Balram's anger, they are transcendental, and they are for benefit of everyone. So here we see on this chapter, marriage of Samba. Earlier chapter we saw killing of Duvida, where also we see the strength of Balramji manifested, and here also we see Balram's strength manifested. So when we see Lord perform such wonderful pastimes, when we hear about wonderful, wonderful qualities of Lord, like here we see one aspect of Lord's strength, another qualities of Lord's affection for his devotees. When we all these qualities, then devotee becomes very happy to surrender to such Lord and feels great security that, oh, if I surrender to Lord, I'll be always protected. I don't have to surrender to anybody else. Just by taking shelter of Lord, Lord promises Name Bhaktya Pranishiti, that his devotee will never perish, he'll be always protected. So more we hear the pastimes of Lord, more we develop appreciation for Lord's wonderful qualities, and more we develop desire to surrender to Lord, take shelter of Lord, and more we feel secure in his shelter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Anybody has any comments, any questions? Every time I extend class too much, so this time I just little compensate. Yes, yes, Amrit Sindhu Jagannath Pro. Mike में बोलो हाँ.
Is Balaram and Narayan is the same power, or
Two things are there. Balram is source of Narayan. So actually all Vishnu Tattvas, in one sense, when we generally say, we say that they are all powerful, all are equally powerful. At same time, Balram is source of Narayans and Vishnus and all these things. Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the 15th chapter, verse 7, Prabhupada is writing about
15th chapter of
verse 7,
15th chapter of which
Bhagavad
canto?
Gita. Bhagavad Gita.
15th chapter of Bhagavad
Bhagavad
Gita.
Gita. Yes. So, in that 7th verse, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanadana Manashashtani Indriyani Prakritistani Karshati. So, that verse, Prabhupada is writing in purport one sentence. The personal expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the individual identities of the Godhead are always present.
Are always?
Present.
Huh.
So here my question is, so Krishna and Vishnu are all same person only. Is it not? Is it or is it not?
They are same person.
Same person.
There are two forms of expansion. Lord Krishna expands in his own personal forms called as Swamshats. And then Lord expands in form of living entities that is called Vibhinnamshats. So all living entities are part and parcel of God. They are separated expansion of Lord. And Krishna expands in form Balram, then all the Sankarsana, Drupadim, Vasudev, all Narayans, all these things, Mahavishnu, they are Swam service, they are integrated part and parcel of Lord. One is separated part and parcel of Lord, and one is integrated part and parcel of Lord. So this Krishna's Swamshas, they come under category called Vishnu Tattva. And since all Vishnu Tattva are Swamshas, they have equal potency. They are all powerful. And therefore, all Vishnu Tattvas we call them as Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagwan. They are called as God. God with capital G.
Okay, now to this, I have another question. So here Prabhupada is saying the individual identities of the Godhead.
Yes.
So they have separate identities as well.
Yes, they have separate identities as well because they are expansions. but they are integrated expansions of Lord.
How to understand that same person but different identities?
Uh,
Same
like Krishna is
person.
there, Ram is there, Narsimha is there, Balram is there, Mahavishnu is there. All of them are individual personalities, but all of them are Vishnu Tattvas. All of them are God, Mm. and but they are individuals. Now, they have different moods. Ram has a different mood, Krishna has a different mood, Narsimha has a different mood. All these things, and they have their different pastimes also. They have different identities. They have different devotees. They have different abodes. They have different, all these things are also there.
Yes, Prabhuji. Because I am asking this question based on thinking that one person will have one identity.
And that is why you have to limit
Yeah,
Supreme
yeah.
Lord.
So, okay.
You can't have your own limitations on
Yeah.
Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is unlimited. He can have unlimited forms. So why
No, no. I am saying because.
why we have to impose some limitation on him?
Okay.
He can have unlimited forms, and all unlimited forms can have separate identities also, individualities also, and separate moods, separate devotees, separate abodes, separate everything. Lord means so we should not try to fit him within our tiny little brain.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
You have some problem, Lord
No.
having many forms?
No, no.
Okay.
No, no.
Okay.
Usually in the usual context, we think that, like for example, Aadhaar card is there. One person means one identity.
Aadhaar card. So that is material thought process,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Thank you.
so this is Aadhaar card. One Lord, one. So same Lord, you can have
I
different
mean,
identity.
how it's all the same person. That I'm not able to conceive. It's all the same person only.
Yes, same person expands, okay, into different personalities to reciprocate with all living entities differently, because Lord is desire fulfilling. He has to fulfill all desires of all the living entities. So he reciprocates everybody accordingly, and everybody is individual. Mm. So that.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, Hari Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Advaitam, Achyutam, Anantarupam. So, Advait, they are non different, and they are Anantarupam, and they are inconceivable also. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So this pastime reminds me of the analogy what Prabhupada tells. Uh, Finally, the person who comes initially comes for the he want to become lion. Then the what is it? First he want to become mouse. Mouse want to become cat. Cat want to become a lion. Finally, it becomes a
Punarmushtik Bhava.
Mr.
Okay.
This story. I mean, this again reminds me of a no some problem that I generally face that. If generally initially we are very humble when anyone comes to Krishna consciousness, they're very humble because they don't know anything. But as the time progresses, you get to know your strength, you get to know others' weakness sometimes, and you get to know your there is some material side of yours which is more brighter than them, maybe superiors, and then even you go on extending sometime. You can even challenge guru also, you can even challenge shastra also, you can even challenge the sadhus, any devotees. So this tendency of overpowering, I mean, we cannot stop them to do something, but how to curb the tendency or how to avoid the situation where we don't even though you may be well equipped with all material things, you can these things should be used in service of Krishna ideally, but how we can save ourselves from falling in this pitfall of not going in this direction.
So, we may think that we are overpowering Guru and Acharyas and Vaishnavas, but actually, Maya is overpowering us. So, that is great illusion. So, we think we are overpowering, but Maya is overpowering. So, this power of Maya. So, one should try to understand how powerful is Maya. We are so insignificant. 110,000 people here being smashed by Maya repeatedly. Still, we think I am so great. So that is power of Maya. Hmm? What is our position in this world? Hmm. Now we have human form. Next moment we die, we don't know whether we'll become cat or rat or any other thing. And what is our power? We are not able to control our mind and senses also. And so so this is actually uh, just we can understand. Maya is so powerful. Beginning of knowledge is humility, and humility comes when we understand the reality mm, that we are so insignificant and Maya is so powerful. Krishna is so glorious. So advancement begins when we are able to understand our insignificance. But if you are thinking that I am becoming significant, that means uh, Maya is overpowering us. So, as we advance in Krishna consciousness, we should be able to appreciate Lord and His devotees more and more. That means we are getting enlightened. But as time is passing, if we see faults in others and we start appreciating oneself more and finding fault with others, that means ignorance is increasing, Maya is increasing, overpowering us. So this should be our what a barometer or parameter to check whether we are progressing or we are degrading. When we are progressing, we are able to see our insignificance and we are able to see wonderful qualities of others. We are able to see our faults and good qualities of others, greatness of others, and we are able to honor and respect others. So, if we are able to develop more and more appreciation for others as time passes, that means we are going in right direction. But as time passes, we are thinking ourselves to be better and others to be insignificant. That means Maya is taking charge of us, and we are going in a negative direction. We are getting degraded. We see this famous story when this Dronacharya called Duryodhana and Yudhishthir Maharaj. He told Duryodhana, "You go in the entire city of Hastinapur and find out some person who is better than you, and please come and report to me." So Duryodhana went everywhere, all over the city, and wherever he went, he only could see faults in others, and he was not able to find even a single person who is equal to him or better than him. And he came said, "My dear Gurudev, you have given a very difficult job. There is never not a single person who is equal to me or better than me. Everybody is useless guy, having some or other fault." So that was Duryodhana's conclusion. Then Dronacharya called Yudhishthira Maharaj and said, "You go and in the kingdom and find somebody who is inferior to you." And Yudhishthira Maharaj went and he was able to see so many wonderful qualities in everybody. And no, he couldn't find anyone who is inferior to him. And he came back and said, "Gurudev, unfortunately, I couldn't find single person. Everybody is better than me." Uh, so same people are there. It's not that when Duryodhana was going, Krishna was putting different sets of people in Hastinapur, and when Yudhishthira Maharaj went, Krishna put different sets of people. There were same sets of people, but when Duryodhana went, because of being overpowered by Maya, he thought himself better, and therefore he couldn't find a single person equal to him or better than him. And whereas Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he is a enlightened soul, he is understanding reality, and he is able to appreciate everybody, and he is able to see everyone better than him, and he is able to understand his insignificance. So he is not able to find anyone inferior to him. So when we see that if we are not able to see others wonderful qualities and appreciate them, that means then we are going on the path of Duryodhana, which may lead to destruction. But if we are able to see good qualities in others, that means we are actually going right path. So that should be barometer for checking. Barometer to check whether we are dancing or not is not how much shastra we know, how much verses we can quote, how much whatever material calculations we may have, what skill set we have, what all that things we have. So that is secondary. Does it make any sense? So false ego or pride means to see fault in others and greatness in oneself. And humility means to see good in others and fault in oneself. And humility is beginning of spiritual life, spiritual advancement. And pride is actually the fall. So when we start feeling I'm better than, then we should feel concern. Maybe I want to practice spiritual life. I'm going off in the materialistic zone. So we have to little bit reflect on this and work hard. Therefore, we see because we are tuned to see with material vision. Actually, we are blind people. What can we see? 99.99% of reality we can't see, and spiritual reality 100% we cannot see. We are blind to spiritual reality. So we try to see with our eyes, we'll be bewildered. Recently, I had gone to Vijayawada. There I met one devotee, Ishwar Puri Das. A wonderful devotee. He's blind devotee. But I was saying he was sitting on laptop and doing everything. Then I was amazed. He's a blind and cut working on laptop. And then I just went and said, "My dear Prabhu, Hare Krishna, are you able to see anything in laptop? You are typing so fast." He was so. He said, "I cannot see anything, but I can hear everything." He said, "I have installed one here. There is software which speaks for me." Hmm. So based on hearing, he operates the laptop. So there is software. So he doesn't see, but and he said somehow by practice his laptop is like screen. What is that? Mm, Keyboard is very. He is very expert in that, and whatever he types, it speaks to him because of that software. Like a word, this, that. Then I said, "You can let me. I want to hear. You can." Then I said, "You were speaking so fast, I couldn't hear anything." As if very very high speed. Then he slowed down. Then I was able to sing. Okay, shift, A, B. So so point is, I was just thinking that he's using laptop, he's everything, downloading, he's writing letters, emails, everything, and everything is based on hearing. So he's not able to see, but he's able to operate everything based on hearing. I was just thinking, actually, he's not seeing, but he's operating on hearing, and this is how actually a spiritualist should be. We should not operate based on what we see. We should operate based on what we hear from Shastras, what we hear from Guru. Based on that, we have to operate. Because our situation was like blind man. We can't see the 100% spiritual reality is invisible to us. Yes or no? Hmm? So we can have spiritual access only by hearing. Like this blind person was able to access everything just by hearing. Uh, and he was very expert in that. Similarly, we may not be able to see any spiritual reality, but by hearing we can access all spiritual reality. Just by hearing Guru, Sadhu, Shastras. But imagine we lose faith in that words. Imagine that software is saying something and he says, "No, no, ये बकवास पढ़ रहा है, गलत पढ़ रहा है." Then will he have any way to access anything? So imagine we lose faith in devotees, we lose faith in Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, we lose faith in that words, then we can't access any reality. Uh, so we should know our situation is like blind man. 100% of spiritual reality is invisible to us. But still, we can have access to spiritual reality by hearing. And for hearing, then we need to trust Guru Sadhu Shastras. If we don't trust them, then we can't access spirituality. And for trusting, we need to have respect for them. And we need to understand I'm blind. If we think, no, I am able to see better than them, then that will be big illusion. So we should understand that we are actually spiritually blind. And our qualification is the sound vibration from Guru Sadhu Shastras. And we should humble ourselves in front of that sound vibration. Then we'll progress further. Okay. Thank you very much. That Prabhuji, what is his name? Ishwar. I saw he did his graduation, post graduation. He did LLB, and he's a practicing lawyer. He goes to court and everything, you know, without. So I was amazed, you know. So we may be blind to spirituality, but if you have faith in words, we can access and do so many wonderful things in spiritual realm also. Yes, thank you. Okay, any last question? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, related to Hari Prasad Prabhu's question,
Hari Prasad.
Hari Prasad Prabhu. So, if Yudhishthir Maharaj was seeing good in others, then how he used to rule the kingdom? Like, what was his mood?
Rule based on hearing Guru Sadhu Shastras. Everything we do based on hearing. So it's not that only when we think I am superior, we can rule. Rather, when we understand I am servant, I can serve better. So ruling doesn't mean that I have to be boss, I have to be superior to everybody, better than everybody. Ruling means, in Vedic life, ruler means he is servant of Krishna, he is representative of Krishna. He is trying to manifest will of Krishna under direction of able advisors, gurus, teachers, and he is trying to serve the society, serve the citizens. So, ruler doesn't mean that he should feel superior, uh, uh, but by his mood of servitude, by mood of humility, king used to be superior. So, when one is superior, actually he can be in mood of servant and he can serve others. When one is superior in qualifications, then one is humble, he is ready to accept will of Lord, he is able to accept the advice of saintly people, and as per their advice, he is able to rule as servant of Krishna for the welfare of all citizens. So, yes, not that. Uh, Rather, if we think ourselves to do better than others, the question how one will rule, it will be very difficult. So, ruling shasan is not just done with this mentality of superiority complex. Shasan is done or administration with mentality of service attitude, which requires humility. But if you think one is superior, then one may try to exploit others, and one may not be able to actually do properly administration or shasan. So one will exploit. So nowadays we see that there was some time back we see there was some country and some people were thinking we are superior and we should rule whole world, and with that idea they were killing so many people. So they ended up in exploiting, and there was a big war. So, and the person who was considering himself superior finally committed suicide. So, such people cannot actually rule. People who can rule is one who have proper service attitude, and who are properly guided by Shastras, Guru and Sadhus. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was guided by Guru, Sadhu, Shastras. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. I have one more question.
We'll end class today here, and one more question we can personally discuss. Okay. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gau Premanande, Hare Hare Bol.